Hello, this is Creature Rumble Devlog 3. Today I've got a lot of cool things to show. It's been about 6 weeks since the last devlog. Let's get into it. So for starters, this isn't really anything major, but I did end up posting a Kickstarter, so that'll be linked below if anybody wants to help support. There's some pretty cool packages on it as well. I'm not expecting much of it. It's also only got like 20 days left, but I thought I might as well try, advertise it a little bit and see what happens. As for getting into the game and what I've worked on, we'll start off with the boring parts, and this will be the performance boosts. So I had some pretty crazy increases in performance, and I'm going to show on the screen right here. So basically, this is a little document to show how much more I can save onto the game. And that's just in like the Unreal Engine's save folder. You can think of each one of these dots as a tile itself, so one of the nodes that you can beat on the map. Each one of these would be like an example of one you could beat. As you can see before, about 10 was where it capped out, and for this example, sometimes it'd be 11 or 12, and you'd start getting up to 23, 30 megabytes, and that would really start to lag the game down. And that was open or closed matches. So the difference here is an open match is when you're playing and you can still go back into it and play the match. A closed match is something you've already defeated and like there's no going back into, so it doesn't have to save as much data. So yeah, basically it's about 100 times more efficient when it comes to saving the closed nodes, and about 10 times more efficient when it comes to saving the open nodes. So this is like a pretty big difference. You know, the game only has like 68 nodes, so this will never like become an issue in the game. But yeah, this is kind of a graphic to show what was before open or closed versus what's after. If the matches are open, you can go in and play all of them, or if they're closed, you can have up to 1,000 compared to 10. Other than that, there's still a lot of performance increases, like when it came to functions and like generating the map. And doing this for the save game also sped up generating tiles for the overall maps as well. So now getting into the gameplay, this is a little bit different than you've probably seen before. I think for starters, we'll pop this up. I really like this page. Just kind of shows you what creatures you have equipped. The next, this is a pretty big thing here too. The next regions you need to beat for the zones, the nodes basically, and then kind of the map of what's unlocked so far. So functionality-wise, this has changed a little bit. Before you would just go here and then go into the node. Well, now you can actually zoom down into the region, and they pop up and down. And then you can exit back here. You can go to another one, and they'll kind of spin, pop up and down. The other main thing you might notice is the mist here and the darkened out regions. So these you cannot play because they have not been unlocked yet, which is the same as last time, but I kind of added like a dark mist over it as well, which I think looks pretty good. And I've also locked the endless to be unlocked once you unlock the second zone. So once you get this one unlocked up here, then you can start to play endless mode. The other big thing you might notice is the nodes are now not fish buckets. They're actually relating to the regions that they are. So I'm pretty happy with this. I had a Fiverr artist go through and basically make the different regions. And each region, so grassland, desert, ocean, I believe then there's tundra and jungle. Each one has 3 different types of nodes that they can be mesh-wise. So you might notice here, this one's kind of a forest for the grassland. Then you have kind of a rocky one down here. And then the final third one would be like this over here, where it's more like flowers and logs and stuff. So each one has 3 different types. As you can see, the desert here, some of these are different as well. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they look really good. Now going to the next part, which I think is going to be pretty cool. There's a couple things here that have changed. For starters, you might notice this is a different map. So each map now is based on the region that it's in. So this is grassland. So it's going to have, trees and kind of like an oak vibe. And then the table is also new too. It's not just a square table. And also there is now circular tiles. So each map is now in a circle, as of before it was in those squares. So I'll go into kind of the circular map for starters. So basically now each map that you go into will be circles for the tile maps. And then they can also vary in size based on the difficulty. And the cool thing is too is that the table scales with that, so I'm just can simply put in like make the diameter an extra 2 and everything will scale correctly. But yeah, so then I also had that same Fiverr artist as well, and he did a great job make these kind of like these are its own asset, this circle right here. That way to kind of show the tiles themselves naturally in the world as best that I could. Other than that, these tiles still work the same. The battles work the same as last time. I did rework some of the difficulties as well, but that's just some minor like float differences. I will add too, this is a pretty minor change, but I did kind of rework this section here, and I added the ability to see the 3D creature in these views, in the details view, which I think is pretty cool. This one right now is obviously doesn't have a 3D model set up yet, but it shows their height, weight, and the name of the creature, and you can spin it around and go in between the different creatures if you want. Since we're here and we have the finish region button set up, I can also show you, this was another minor change, but basically now when you beat the map, it shows you the trophies you won, the DNA you won, and then the different trophies that each creature has gained, and then also the card that you won. And then when you click Finish Region, you go back, and we finished this one here, so we've unlocked these two. That still works the same as last time, but it is kind of cool to see now also how the achievements are set in place. So these are where those achievements would spawn, and as you can tell, if we were to go to like, let's try to find one of the creatures here. Yeah, here we go. The frog swamp monster. You have right here the achievement filled in, and it's one of these. Now that I showed you guys the grassland map, I might as well show you the rest of them, which I'm pretty happy with. I think they've turned out pretty good. This is the desert map. Some of that I was gonna say, yeah, it's a little bit blurry because it's not loaded in yet. But yeah, I did make these maps from assets that I got on the Unreal Marketplace, but I made them myself. Like I placed everything down using Unreal Engine's tools and stuff. And then this is the mound here. We can go to the jungle pack. This one's pretty cool. I like this one, like looking at it from the outside. And each one I wanted to kind of give like an arena feel, like you're going into an arena. So this looks pretty good. And you go down, and yeah, very much a jungle vibe here. And then we can go into the ocean. But yeah, the ocean one, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think this is pretty cool. I like the god rays that come down too, and yeah, it kind of gives a little water aesthetic, I guess, on the ground, and it does that for the tiles as well, as you can see here. And then the final one would be the tundra. This one's really cool. Very much like a snowy vibe here. And again, this is the different mound here that I had the Fiverr artist make. I thought I would add too, the difficulties are all set up now as well. I can pull up here. So basically this is going to be, as you can see, each one is labeled for their color. And this is going to be the difficulties for each node as you go throughout. I tried to balance things, have a little bit of easy to normal, and then it slowly scales up hard all the way down to extreme. So I set this up, and that works in game. As you can see, like these two right here are normal, the rest are easy. And if I was to go try that, difficulty normal, normal, easy, easy, easy. That's pretty much it for major gameplay changes, but I do got a few new creatures that I can show you guys, which I think are pretty cool. So yeah, these are some of the new creatures right here. I think they look really good. The artists have been doing a great job. I'll kind of flip through some of these, but we've got a total of 68 creatures done out of what will be about 101, 102 in the final game. This one I really like this one, World War II Raptor. It's pretty cool. Like the little M1 grammed on the side. That's pretty much it for this devlog. If you guys have any questions, please put them down below. I'd love to hear feedback or anything else, and have a nice day.